can and should only have one commitment.
Their duty.
Yes. I know it sounds dramatic, but it's the truth. I chose not to have a family because the realm was my wife and its people were my children. Allowing somebody else into my life would have meant betraying the others.
Well, your dedication is definitely admirable.
But we've wasted enough time. You wanted an answer, and that was it.
I'll be
all right.
That's the way.
That's enough of that. Do not care, dude. Do not care. I'm never gonna play Aonir. He's a weird character. He's almost like a tank, but his spells and things are just so odd. He's like a tank. He's got the tank tree. He also has brutality and warfare. It's very strange.
All right. Now that my sister is safe,
Here we
and
go.
we have the Utran army beside us, we need to discuss our course of action. As I've hinted at already, there are two more problems we need to take care of before we can gather to convince the other royal houses to join forces with us and reconquer Greykeep.
Lekain's Iron Ones and the Leonida forces.
Iron Ones? You mean these giant walking armors?
Yes. We need to destroy the place where the Purity manufactures them. And we need to eliminate Amaria Leonida, who has allied herself with the Harbinger.
House Leonida has the strongest army in Nortander. Wouldn't it be wiser to forge the alliance with Ulfgar and Hallett first, and then deal with them?
It would, but Leonida is controlling the borders. In other words, until we've taken care of her and the Ironborn, we couldn't move the Wolfgar or Hallett forces, even if they agreed to an alliance.
What are they?
Any idea what these Iron Ones actually are?
Massive
Golems?
things.
No, I doubt it. They have the magical signature of a human. I guess we'll need to find out.
Yes, though I'm fairly certain the Harbinger's new magic has to do with it. The Archfire.
But if that's the case, how are we supposed to deal with them?
Well, according to my scouts, there is a place where they are being created by whatever unholy powers behind this. And it seems that this smeltery, if you want to call it that, is in the Windwall foothills.
So we travel to Windwall and burn down that factory. Is that the plan?
Yes, it's a simple task, but it won't be easy. We can be sure that the Purity is doing all in their power to protect it.
Amaria Leonida allied herself with the Harbinger? Why?
Because she's probably the most ardent follower of
His
the
voice
Purity's
acting's a bit odd.
She was the first truly influential Northanger
He's got like
to
two
repent when
voices
Lekain's new
doing his
religion
lines.
was founded, and also the first to declare her unconditional loyalty after Lekain showed his true face and took over Greyfell.
That's not good. How do you plan to neutralize her? We can't just move our army into Leonida territory. That would be suicide.
Well, that's where we got lucky. Amaria Leonida has taken up position in the Eye.
In the marshlands? Why?
My guess is as good as yours, but I suppose it has to do with your father's laboratory. I doubt Lekain is done with it.
Well, seems like this will be quite the battle.
Indeed. Which is why we need a good strategy.
Fair enough. Then let's start making preparations.
Good. I'll be here if you need me.
More law? Really?
Yes, Corporal? How can I help?
Would you be willing to tell me more about your friend?
You seem to be quite adamant about this, aren't you? Fine, if you insist.
This guy's gonna have to
What do you
wait
wanna
while
know?
she blabbers on about her friend.
Was she an assassin as well?
She was, yes.
How close were you and her exactly?
That's hard to say. We had sex in all those 5 years. She never left my side. So some people might have considered us lovers, but I'm not sure we ever felt that way towards each other. You see, I don't feel emotions the same way other people do.
Because you're broken.
And neither did
She's
Milo.
literally a psychopath.
The feelings the bards all sing about, I never had them. And I doubt I am capable of feeling them at all. This bond we had it because we were alike. Because she understood me and I understood her. Without saying a word. And I doubt I will ever have that feeling again.
She told me that she has the urge to murder people and that it cannot be satiated without killing people. Like she literally has to kill people to feel normal. And she's on my team. So, yeah. I guess she's a person, yeah, but still. It's odd.
When you say you were alike, what does that mean? That she also hardly felt emotions?
Yes. But whereas for me, it had been becoming a dreamweaver that had made me who I am.
Oh, she's also a psychic.
Milo
She's a
had simply been
psychic
born that way.
psychopath.
There was no logical reason for her condition. It was just what fate or the gods had given her.
It was her brain got broken essentially. When she became an assassin, her brain broke and she was able to be this dream weaver, which is kind of like a psychic, but she's still a psychopath. Why do psychopaths have to be so violent? Well, I guess it's because they don't feel emotions like we do. I
understand.
Maybe you do.
It was hard. It was hard for me not to call her a monster after that conversation.
What was she like?
Absolutely insane.
That's a difficult question to answer. Compared to me, I would describe her as more cheerful, more talkative. She enjoyed the company of other people far more than I did. Of course, that conviviality was mostly a charade. Her interest in other people was genuine, but it was mainly because she wanted to study them. It was almost as if, until the very end, she believed that she could somehow overcome her nature. Of course, it didn't work.
How did she... I mean, how did it happen? The blood burn?
Well, I presume you are familiar with how the disease progresses, so there's no need to explain that part.
Your blood literally
As for
boils.
when and where, we were with a small caravan near Everlight, on our way back to Greyfell. We had made camp in a small forest when the symptoms first showed. An old man, one of the caravan leaders, started coughing blood.
Bleh.
I think everybody saw, but they all acted
What?
as if they hadn't. From that point on, it went straight downhill. Almost 3/4 of the group were infected. And by the next day, a young boy had blood running from his eyes. Do you know what's strange?
What?
Up until that point, I didn't even consider the fact that Milo was infected as well. The thought just didn't ever cross my mind.
How did you find out?
A blister. On the third morning after that night in the forest, she took a bath in a nearby river and I saw it. That was it. I knew what would happen. And so did she. I insisted on riding back to Everlight and looking for a healer. An irrational thing to do, and I knew it. But I figured that a chance was better than none. But she wouldn't have it. I want to tell life when it's over, not the other way around. That's what she had always told me.
It's a pretty cool way of saying.
And that
That's
night,
pretty good
It turned out she
ethos.
meant.
She took her own life.
Yes. When I returned to the camp that night, I found a letter where she told me to meet her at a nearby clearing. I did, and found her laying on the grass, hands crossed behind her head, as if she was watching the moon. There was an empty bottle next to her, and I immediately recognized it. It was the merciful slumber, the most painless of poisons at our disposal. When you drink it, it's almost like falling asleep, very slowly. She was smiling when she faded away.
With all the people you've killed, maybe it was fair.
How do you feel about her decision?
How should I feel? It was her decision. And it was the most rational choice to make. Dying of the blood burn is incredibly painful. And she avoided that pain. Her last memories were ones of peace.
I don't know. I think, personally, I think life is always worth fighting for. Because essentially it's all you've got, really, at the end of the day. I will always fight tooth and nail for every drop of life before giving up.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Anyway, is there anything else you want
Dark
to ask?
Slumber. So all that was just for that skill.
What's the matter?
I have news. Bad news.
Report.
The Iron Falcons from Aonir's blade. They've sent word. A dragon has appeared near the canyon. An elder.
An elder? You mean?
Yes. From the legends.
Yes.
What? But they've been asleep for centuries.
Well, apparently not.
Are you sure this isn't a mistake?
Quite sure. The Iron Falcons found 3 keepers torn apart and scorched in a way that only a dragon could do it. But what's even more alarming is that the Falcons believe that said dragon is heading our way.
Why?
I don't know.
Ally with us.
I just don't know.
If the dragon
What are your
talks,
orders?
I'm going to be so upset.
What if the scouts are wrong and the dragon isn't here for us?
That is a possibility.
Where is the dragon now? Is it moving?
I don't think so. According to the Falcons, it has landed in a small oasis in the scorching desert. A 1 or 2 day journey from Aonir's blade. What will you do, Corporal?
Go talk to
I know
it.
this war is hard and taking up all of your resources, but we cannot just stand by and watch while that creature comes at us, can we?
Well, I'll turn to the oasis.
I'll travel to the oasis and see for myself.
I understand. Want me to tell the others?
I'll do it when we head out. Dismissed, Private.
Sir.
Sure.
I'll do what's required.
This guy wants to talk. Uram. This guy is the most disappointing character of the whole game. He was built up to be this master summoner dude, and he has no summoning skills.
Huh?
My character has more summoning skills.
I'm still wondering what made you...
You're not to make it
I
short.
really don't care,
I'm
dude.
sure you.
How did...
A group of mercenaries. They took me in.
Huh. What happened?
My mother. She was gone.
I'm sorry.
Why? And look what she got in return.
What about...
What?
Where? Why?
The
What?
I wasn't strong enough when I
Wait, what?
university. Sure. Hope you're happy.
Invoke the Beyond. I bet it's something terrible. Sacrifice 5 life to call forth a powerful demon. There you go. You have to go through all that in order to actually get any summoning skill. Yeah, I won't be using him. I'm not going to listen to his rubbish either. So, there is that.
There you are. Tahar, I found something incredible.
What is it?
Remember how I asked you for permission
My house
to examine
keys.
your mother's body? Undergas and I did that yesterday.
So? Were you able to learn anything?
We did, and this is what I'm so excited about. That jewel in the front part of her cranium. At first, we thought it was simply an ornament to mark her as a member of the priest caste, but it's more than that. It has magical properties.
What kind of magical properties?
It's somewhat similar to the Harbinger's rune. It's essentially a magical talisman that made them smarter and stronger. Long story short, despite her spirit being gone, the ornament still seems to be active. I think we could remove it.
Okay.
And what for?
As I said, the jewel is magical. If you wear it, say, as a talisman, it could increase your magical powers significantly. It could really help us in our fight against Lacane.
All right. Do it.
Of course. Give me a moment, will you? Shouldn't take long. All right, Tahar. It worked. Here, take a look. Can you feel it? It's amazing.
You're right. It's immense.
It's immense.
Well, I guess now we know why the lower castes revered the priests as gods. Telepathy, magical ornaments. They were almost superhuman, so to speak. Either way, I think it'll help you on the field. Thanks again for your trust, Tahar.
No worries, mate. No worries. Let's go to the world map. After all that lovely lore. Okay. Legacy of Destruction. Let's do that.
South of Leonida and east of Hallett lies the scorching desert. A place as inhospitable as it is dangerous. The desert is uninhabited save for the dust-crawler orcs, a nomadic orc tribe that roams the dunes in search of fresh water. With a throat as dry as parchment and a throbbing headache, you arrive at the place your scouts described. A small oasis amidst the blazing ocean of sand. Despite the heat, you feel a cold lump forming inside your stomach. Something is nearby. Something powerful.
It's like an awful place.
The Falcons were right, Tahar. There is a dragon nearby. It's enormous.
So you think it actually is an elder?
It's possible. Everything we see and everything we do leaves a minor echo in our aura. The ones we leave behind when we die. That creature has millions of echoes woven into its aura. In other words, it has been on this world for millennia.
That's
Jeez.
comforting. Remind me, Tahar, why did we just bring one battalion here and not our entire army?
Because the Purity will notice if we move our entire army and could use the opportunity to attack. Right now, nobody knows we're here. Now let's head out.
Just talk to the dragon. I'm sure it's going to give us a boon of some sort.
Sounds like a plan.
Wouldn't be an RPG without a good dragon.
Shit, that was a painful death.
And it wasn't caused by normal fire. These people melted.
Got it, sure.
Sounds spicy. Oh, wolves.
Here we go.
Decide. We'll keep you.
You'll regret this.
I ordered him to bash him, but he didn't bash.
Huh. Interesting.
A dragon hunter? There's a secret my family no one wants to acknowledge. Hibernian blood runs through our veins. Grandmother whispered to me before she died, entrusting me to keep the truth alive. When I mentioned it to my mother, she dismissed the idea as nonsense. Grandmother lost her mind to daydreams. I know she's wrong. Deep down, I've always known the truth. Instead of planting crops and pulling weeds, we could be out there hunting dragons. Dragons! Our ancestors would be ashamed to see us now. They slayed giant beasts and protected the world while we devote our days to wading in the mud. I'll bring our honor and glory back to our family. We are Hibernians. We deserve more than a simple farming life. We should embrace our heritage, not shy away from it. Why mother pretends that it is fake is beyond me. If I can find and kill a dragon, I'll prove her wrong. I'll show her that the people will celebrate and adore us. They say in the Mage Wars, the Queen killed a dragon and saved Greyfell. Next time, this will be me. I'll pierce the dragon's heart with my sword and it will fall in a fiery blaze. The people will toast my name as they drink their ale. Songs will be written about my deeds. The Queen will bestow me with the greatest of riches in the kingdom, and maybe she'll make me her king. I heard of a mercenary company of dragon hunters not far from here. They must be like me. It only makes sense that we Hibernians should stick together and do what's in our blood, kill dragons. I'm going to join them. We'll roam the land protecting peasants and damsels from scaled beasts. I'll prove myself. Just watch it. Well, he's dead, so no.
This one looks as though he's been mauled. And he's wearing an unusual armor, isn't he?
Huh. Do you see these crystals in his skin? They look an awful lot like the ones we found on the...
Up ahead.
Huh? Didn't expect to see travelers all the way out here. Tundea.
Tundia? That sounds
Tundia.
It does, because it is. We're Valis Draigin, dragon hunters, as you'd call it. Which is why I urge you to head right back where you came from. There's a Yal Dragin, an elder dragon, just waiting to sink its fangs into you.
Nah.
As it has done with the idiots you've probably seen on the wayside.
Nah.
So you're actually Hibernian dragon hunters?
Well, we're not 800 years old, so we're obviously descendants.
I hate to break it to you, but the only proven direct descendant of Hibernia is Queen Aelith.
Our order has been around for over 100 years now. We've found Hibernian blood all over Northander. I'm not surprised you don't know us. Most people don't. Even though if it weren't for us, half of Northander would be eaten by wyverns by now.
Huh.
No, wyverns?
Interesting. So it's true. There's an elder in the oasis.
That's what I just said.
I think that dragon is here for me.
Good night, Morgan Soul. Have
I
a
heard
good
he
night,
was
buddy.
here for that marvelous cheesecake they made in Everlight.
I'm not joking. There has been a magical outbreak 4 weeks ago. And I was responsible for it. We have reason to believe that this dragon is headed to our camp.
An outbreak, huh? That's what Pavlos said